Hi, I'm Sydney Fisher, author of the best-selling series, The Haunting of Natalie Bradford, Part 1 and Part 2, and I'm going to be taking you on a little tour today of some of the locations in the story. Right now, I am located in downtown Tupelo, Mississippi. Today is July the 19th, 2015, and it's very hot. The heat index here is supposed to be about 110 degrees, so bring your bottled water and let's get started. Okay, we're standing outside the Tupelo Police Department. This is the building where Devin Bradford was actually arrested and booked in. Now, he came here on his own a few weeks after he was released from the hospital. The murder happened December the 22nd, 1974. This would have been in January 1975. Just a few weeks after that, when he was released, he came down and drove and parked his car right here in front in one of these parking spaces, and he walked through that front door there to give his statement of his whereabouts on that night and his details of what he was doing. And it is at this location where at that time they did read him his rights, and he was asked to empty his pockets, put his belongings into an envelope, and he was escorted to the back of the building where they put him in a cell until he could make bond arrangements. Now, if you'll look at those windows there where I'm kind of showing you, I'm highlighting that would have been the male end of the jail cell. On this end here, where I'm showing you to the right, this would have been the female jail cells. But this building is no longer in use. There are some mold issues. It's old, and so the city is in the process of building a new jail facility. So let's head on over to the courthouse where Devin Bradford had his trial. Okay, we are now at the courthouse, just a few blocks away from the Tupelo Police Department where Devin Bradford had his trial. I just wanted to be sure and get a shot of this for you and let you see this. Now I'm going to walk around just a little bit. Hopefully this will make good pictures for you to see. If you'll take a look there at those steps leading up to the courthouse door, and of course there's an entrance on all four sides of the courthouse, but this entrance would have been where Devin Bradford came out during the scene in the story where he is on the witness stand and he's under a lot of duress. He is realizing that if he doesn't get his story straight, he could spend the rest of his life in prison. So he asked the judge for a 10-minute recess, and they lead him out here, and this is where he smokes a cigarette and contemplates what he's going to say. We've gotten permission to go inside the restaurant while it's closed today, and Miss Burns is going to let me take you in and show you around the exact areas where Liz Bradford was on the night that she was murdered. So real excited about this. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, we're standing outside Woody's restaurant. This is the restaurant where Natalie Houston met Devin Bradford several months after Liz Bradford's death. I'm actually standing here right in the location of where they found the car the night that Liz Bradford was murdered. She was draped over the front seat, and Devin Bradford was found lying face down, pointing east. If you'll take a look at these windows here, these are the front windows. You'll see in the book, you'll read about this in the book, this scene. He comes up to these windows on December the 21st, 1974, right before midnight, and he's looking for Liz Bradford. He's looking for his wife. She's right inside this building on the other side of that glass of that window, and she is cleaning the table. So he's trying to locate her, wants to talk to her. If you'll look down this sidewalk here, you'll see that little bench right outside the doors. Go on down that sidewalk and take a right, and there's another entrance into a hallway that leads to a bathroom, also leads to the lion's den. We'll be going in just a few minutes, and I'll take you in and let you see that. But he also looked through that door and was looking all around searching for Liz on that night. So this has changed somewhat. It did not look exactly like this, of course, in 1974. But as far as the structure and the foundation, all of that, of course, is still the same. So no, that has not changed. Just the colors, the decor. Okay, let's head inside. Okay, we're going to go in these front doors here and go into the lobby of the restaurant where Liz Bradford worked on the night that she died. So follow me in. Okay, we're in the inside of the dining room where Liz Bradford would have been working the night that she was murdered. I'm going to take you around the room here and just show you the dining room. Back in December of 2011, Robert Irvine with Restaurant Impossible came in and redid this restaurant some, so it does look a little bit different than it did, quite a lot different in some areas. The two front windows here that you're seeing in this room, in this dining room, actually back when Liz Bradford was working here, there were some very, very luxurious velvet red drapes that were hanging from these windows. It was kind of like walking into a movie theater. This was kind of a dark room, according to Robert Irvine, and that's why he changed it around. The tables now are still original. These are Italian wood chairs. They were a dark cherry before the renovation back in December. But this front window that I'm showing you here from the interior is where Devin Bradford was on the night that Liz Bradford was murdered. He was looking in that window there, looking at her and watching her in this dining room as she was cleaning these tables and preparing to close that night. Okay, we're now in the lion's den. This is the bar area where Devin Bradford actually met Natalie Houston months after he had murdered his wife on the front parking lot. This also is where Liz Bradford would have worked in this area, in this bar area here. The structure still is exactly the same as it was back in 1974. The bar location is the same. What I'm showing you right now, we're down at the left end of the bar. This would have been where Natalie Houston was sitting the night that she met Devin Bradford. Now, this is a small area where I'm showing you. I'm moving the camera around the room a little bit. There's tables here in front, but back then they had that kind of cleared out, and this was just a small dance floor, and lots of people gathered there. I'm moving around the room now, and I'm going to show you, I'm walking you around the bar area. Down here on this end would have been where Devin Bradford was sitting. Now, you'll see in the background that there is a pool table down there. That wasn't there during the 1970s when this was going on. Also, I'll show you, it's very dark, you can't see it very well, but this is a small room. It almost looks like a DJ booth. And I guess that it's been turned into a DJ booth. But this actually was the manager's office, and this is where Liz Bradford left her orange suitcase the night that she died. She set it right down here in the corner here, and it's very dark. There's not any lights here. Let's see if I can turn on this light. That's not a light. Not finding a light here for this, but this is where she left her suitcase. Okay, we're back in the car now with some air conditioning, and I am seriously praying for snow. While we were standing in front of the restaurant, the traffic got a little heavy, so I'm not sure if you heard everything that I was telling you. I did mention the front windows, and I talked to you about North Mississippi Medical Center, which is located about 2 miles south of here. That is where Devin Bradford was transported on the night that Liz Bradford was murdered. That would have been December the 22nd, 1974. And that is where he first crossed Natalie Houston's path. So this is where it really begins, this whole story. I did tell you that I got involved in this story many, many years ago. It actually started as a writing project for a class that I was taking. And so here we are many years later in publication. The story just never went away. It just continued to haunt me over the years. It is an incredible story, very, very interesting story. It's not your typical horror story, but it is very suspenseful, and there are places that are pretty scary. And it's a great story, not necessarily because I wrote it, just because it is. But I invite you to read the book and contact me at lsydneyfisher.com. I'd love to hear from you. I also will give away an ebook if anybody can tell me what the iron fence was used for at the courthouse downtown. If you'll go back in this video to the part where we were downtown at the courthouse, you'll notice that there is a black iron fence surrounding the property. Now, that courthouse has been standing there since 1905, but that fence has been there since 1871. The first courthouse was there 1871 and another one in 1873. Both of them burned to the ground, and the final structure that you saw down there was built in 1905. But all of those structures have had a fence surrounding the property. Why did they build a fence to surround the property of the courthouse? What were they trying to keep out? So just remember, there's no cars. You know, there was no cars driving around in 1871, and people normally, you know, how did they make it to town to do their business? So think about that, and send me an email. Let me know what you think, and if you get it right, I'll give you a download. See you later.